Welcome back to Learn JavaScript on Codecademy. We're in the Advanced Objects section. This is built-in object methods. In the previous exercises, we've been creating instances of objects that have their own methods, but we can also take advantage of built-in methods for objects. For example, we have access to object instance methods like hasOwnProperty, valueOf, and many more. Practice your documentation reading skills and check out MDN's object instance documentation. There are also useful object class methods such as Object.assign, Object.entries, and Object.keys, just to name a few. For a comprehensive list, browse MDN's object instance documentation. Let's get acquainted with some of these methods and their documentation. Note, you will see errors as you work through this exercise, but by the end, the errors will be fixed. Our instructions say, in main.js there's an object, robot. We like to grab the property names, otherwise known as keys, and save the keys in an array which is assigned to robot keys. However, there's something missing in the method call. Find out what we have to include by reading MDN's Object.keys documentation. Let's do it now. Object.keys method returns an array of a given object's own enumerable property names, iterated in the same order that a normal loop would. So let's see the example here, and it does take in the object when we call Object.keys. So let's go back and see what they did. Zoom out, and we do see Object.keys is missing our robot object. Let's fix that and run it. We do pass, and like it said, we were going to get some errors, but let's go on to number 2. Object.entries will also return an array, but their array will contain more arrays that have both the key and value of the properties in an object. Declare a constant variable named robot.entries and assign to it the entries of robot by calling Object.entries. Let's look at the documentation first. So Object.entries returns an array of a given object's own enumerable string keyed property, key value pairs. This is the same as iterating with a for-in loop, except that a for-in loop enumerates properties in the prototype chain as well. So let's see some other examples here. We do entries and we pass in the object. We're then able to access those values and keys. Syntax, Object.entries takes the object. So let's see what we can do. So here, let's declare that robot entries and run this. Let's run it. We do pass, and it does log out an array with the arrays of the key value pairs. 3 says, now what if we want another object that has the properties of robot, but with a few additional properties? Object.assign sounds like a great method to use, but like the previous examples, we should check Object.assign documentation at MDN, then declare a const variable named newRobot. NewRobot will be a new object that has all the properties of robot and the properties in the following object, which is laser blaster true, voice recognition true. Make sure that you are not changing the robot object. Let's check out the documentation. Object.assign method copies all enumerable own properties from one or more source objects to a target object. It returns the modified target object. So here we got target and source, and then a return target variable. Then we do Object.assign and pass in target and source, and we do see the output as expected. Let's go back and do that. Should be able to run that now, and we do pass. And we do get the new object that has laser blaster and voice recognition properties, as well as our original robot properties. So what we're learning here is about some built-in object methods. We went over a few, being .keys, .entries, and being.keys, .entries, and .assign. This lesson's really made to get you comfortable searching through MDN's documentation. You want to make sure to go over it yourself and practice with some of the examples that they give us to make sure you're really understanding how these methods work and to get you comfortable utilizing the documentation. As long as you're getting that, you're getting this lesson, and I'll see you in the next one.